I appreciate the gentleman for yielding, and I want to thank Chairwoman Maloney for giving this committee yet another opportunity, another platform to highlight the horrible, miserable, failed policies of the Biden administration and the Democratic Party as a whole, and for also allowing this time yet again to exhibit the dereliction of duty of this committee to perform real oversight on pressing issues like the southern border, like global supply chain issues, and like the horrible withdrawal in Afghanistan. And yet to this day, the hundreds of Americans who right now are left in Afghanistan while we're having hearings like this to supposedly investigate a misinformation campaign by the oil and gas companies. But let's talk about real misinformation. As it relates to climate change, Democrats and their friends in the media have morphed what is considered a worst case climate scenario into what today is considered a most likely and sure to happen tomorrow kind of scenario. And it's all about the purposes of justifying an array of liberal socialist wish list priorities, such as the Green New Deal. Unfortunately, Democrats have shamelessly scared and frightened an entire generation of children into fearing that the entire end of the world is just upon us. One of our colleagues said we only have 11 years left to save the planet. Are you kidding me? Shamelessly creating fear in society and a whole new generation. And yet the Green New Deal, which our colleague from New York, her own chief of staff admitted that the Green New Deal was not even about the environment. That it was more of a how do you change the entire economy kind of thing. It promises family sustainable wages. It promises medical and family leave, paid vacation, retirement security. It says nothing about the environment as a whole. Democrats have become masters of accusing others of the very thing they themselves are guilty of. And in this case, misinformation. Misinformation meant to scare the public and ignore realities. Realities like the truth that the United States has been reducing carbon emissions while China's emissions have been going through the roof. China now produces twice the carbon emissions as the United States and a quarter of all of greenhouse gas emissions globally. China, here's a country who detests freedom, detests democracy, detests human rights. They would love nothing more than for the United States to be crippled in our economy through these rosy-sounding, nevertheless horrible policies being presented and crammed down the throats of the American people by the Democratic Party. And what has the Biden administration done about it all? Well, ask Mr. Crabtree today and 11,000 others who have lost their jobs because of the horrible policy decisions of this administration. And by the way, union jobs, good paying union jobs, which our Democrats love to crow about, and yet now these individuals have lost their jobs. The Biden administration had no problem killing the Keystone Pipeline, but at the same time, no problem willing to establish Nord Stream 2. So here we go. Let's give Putin and the Russians everything they need, including economic and political leverage over Europe. What kind of Russian collusion was involved in that kind of deal, I wonder? Yet the Biden administration cannot escape the fact that the U.S. economy still relies on oil and gas for basic necessities. And yet their plan is, let's decrease our own energy independence while increasing reliance upon some of the world's most unstable countries. And yet now these companies that we're talking to today who are being villainized are at the same time being begged by the Biden administration to help the reducing energy prices. The hypocrisy is insane. My time has expired, and with that, I'll yield back to the gentleman from South Carolina. Thank you.